Hi everyone, Donna here with Bookkeeping Made Simple. Today we're going to talk about another business entity type, the sole proprietorship. Now before I get started, a little bit of housekeeping as always. I don't advertise this show. I just put it out there and hope that it is of use to you. So there's no sponsorships, there's no advertising, there's no talking about anything but what's on the show. And because of that, I need your help to grow the channel. If you would please like, share, and subscribe if you find anything, especially share. If you find anything here that is valuable to you, we'd love for you to share these videos so that we can get more subscribers and help more people. And with that said, onwards. I talked about S-Corps in my last video and blog post. So today we're going to talk about sole proprietorships. The glory of the sole proprietorship is there's almost no setup. You go to work. This is really useful, by the way, if you perform personal services, such as maybe hairdressing, massage therapy, and it's just, there's not a lot of liability that you're exposed to. It can be a very good way of doing business. You are your business. The business is you. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what you can deduct on that, by the way, in just a sec. Now, a lot of people do like it because it's easy to set up. Basically, you hang out the shingle and you start working. But you cannot pass it to your heirs. You can build it. You can build a huge book of business. And if anything happens to you, then you are out of business. Also, if you ever want to sell it, you cannot sell it as a sole proprietor. So think about what your exit plan is. And I do recommend that people talk about exit plans when they're talking about their business. Do you want to sell it? And we'll talk about that more in a later video. The biggest problem I have with sole proprietorships is the exposure to liability. So if you are sued for any reason, if you are personally sued, your business is also on the hook because there's no separation between you and your business. Likewise, if you are sued on a business level, your personal assets are on the hook. So there is no corporate veil. There is nothing separating you from your business. You and your business are the same legal entity. So you want to think about, is this just something you want to do if you're testing the waters? Which is a good idea. If you're not sure that you want to go to the hassle of setting up a business with the state, you can start as a sole proprietorship. You can use your own personal checking account. I don't like it when people do this, but it could happen. And you can just go to work and see how well you like it, and maybe try it for a couple of months and see if you can build the business. But I do not necessarily recommend this. Again, it depends on the exit plan and it depends on the exposure to liability. Tax-wise, sole proprietors are taxed on their Schedule C of their individual tax return. And so that does mean that they can write off a lot of business expenses. Now, the IRS defines deductible business expenses as things that are expenses incurred in the normal and ordinary cost of doing business. Now, what does this mean? It means that if it is helpful to you to earn money, then it is a business expense. And it depends on the business. It depends on your marketing strategy. It depends on, for example, as an accountant, if I buy steel-toed boots, it has nothing to do with my business. I'm not in construction. My ex-husband, who is heavily in construction, and we're fortunate enough to still be friends, if he were to buy QuickBooks, it had better be because he's going into business for himself and he needs an accounting software. But some of the things that I use that are expenses for my business aren't going to match for somebody else. And other people's businesses aren't going to match for mine. I think the biggest, most egregious thing I have seen so far, as far as abuse of that, is I had a client who lived in a different state. Most of the time he was actually in construction, but he would go to different states to do work, and he would hire adult companionship to be with him and attempted to write it off. And I was like, we all know what you're doing, and that's not going to pass muster. It's not me that's making that decision. It is the IRS, and they are going to, as they say in the South, they will be on you like a duck on a June bug. You do not want to mess with that. But in any case, if it's a normal and ordinary cost of doing business, then you can write it off. And again, it depends on if your marketing strategy, the type of business you're in. But if it is helping you make money, generally speaking, you can write it off. So that is a benefit to having a sole proprietorship, is the fact that you are now in business and you can take advantage of these write-offs. These are what are called above the line write-offs. And that means that we take your revenue and we immediately take all of your expenses out, and you're only taxed on what is left over, if anything. So, and there's a lot of tips and tricks of doing that, and I'm not going to go into that in this video. So sole proprietorship may be appropriate for you, it may not be. I do recommend that if you are getting ready to open a business and you're not sure what kind of business entity to set up, that you talk to me or you talk to a business attorney who can help you. Okay, and I've got tax preparers that I work with. I've got some wonderful business attorneys. So if you need help trying to determine what kind of business you want to open, give us a call at 801-692-0032, or you can send us a note through our website at mysimplebookkeeping.com. And we can put you in touch with some of the best business attorneys that I have had the pleasure to come across. So, just don't hesitate to reach out if it's something that I can't help you with. I certainly have the network to help you find the person who can. That's it for today. We're going to be talking about different types of business entities for the rest of the week. So I am looking forward to talking to you again soon.